Hi, I'm Danielle D'Souza, pet-friendly lender with Wynn Mortgage, and I have the pleasure to speak with Lauren Driscoll with two Pet Peeves dog training and Old Glory service dogs. Yes. So, of course, I just love everything when it comes to animals. So, and I know Lauren has been around for quite some time here in our county. So tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Okay. So, I used to be in EMS. I did that for 17 years on Long Island. And after 9/11, I still did it for about 3 or 4 years. And I decided I wanted to switch gears. So we actually rescued a dog from a shelter, and he was a disaster. And I went to a local trainer. Didn't really like the way the trainer was doing things. So I said, let me do this myself. So I went and took a course. And then I did 15 months hands-on. And I became a dog trainer, and I trained my own dogs, and I wanted to give back to the community. So I joined another organization. It was called Save a Pet. And I would go there on the weekends, and I would train those dogs so they would be easily adopted. And then I went to another organization, and I was with them for about 5 years. And then I moved here to Palm Coast, but they wouldn't let me become a chapter. There was a little bit of restriction. I don't like restriction. And they also kind of went in different directions. They weren't just staying with service dogs for veterans, first responders. They were starting to do comfort animals, and it started to get really heavy. So I decided to go out on my own, and we have Old Glory service dogs for veterans. And the 4, because it's 4 veterans, is a number 4, and that's first responders, EMS, fire, and police officers. So they can also come and they get free service dogs.
So I didn't know that. I thought it was just for veterans. Okay.
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's Old Glory. And then, so how does somebody find out about you, or how do they sign up with you? Do they bring their own dog? Do they get a dog from the shelter? Like, how does that work?
So we need to pick out the dog, because people usually just go in and go, oh, that one's cute. And then they bring them in, and I go, that's never going to work. We try to stay away from very hardworking dogs like shepherds.
Malinois?
No. Well, that's considered with us. Those are shepherds.
Okay.
Just working dogs that just have so much energy, because they have to be able to calm down and stay calm and relaxed and not go bananas. So we make sure that they have to go through a couple of tests before we'll take them. We don't want puppies either, believe it or not. A lot of puppies, when we get them, they can be a certain way, and as they grow up, because of their makeup, their DNA, sometimes they change as they mature. So we go with dogs that are around a year old.
Okay.
And then from there, we match them up with people who need the service dogs. People find us usually through word of mouth.
Okay.
So what we do is we say, what do you need the service dog for? So if you need it for mobility, you need it for someone to hit the button because you can't reach it to open up a door, pick things up off the floor. We have to get a dog that's going to be able to do those kind of things. So we research the dog. We have the person go. We pick out a couple of them. We have the person go and say, I feel comfortable with this one. They bring them home.
You pick them out from like a shelter?
Yes.
Okay.
We've gone to Halifax, and we go to Flagler Humane Society.
Okay.
And we also talk to Caroline in Smart.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah, me too.
And we make sure that the dog is going to fit the person, but we want the person to be with the dog for about 2 weeks just to see, is it going okay? You have a little connection. Because if there's no connection, we have a problem, because it really has to be a bonded thing.
Sure.
So if they don't, they do go back to the shelter, and that's the agreement that we have with them. And if not, if it stays, then they go through a Pet Peeves dog training group class, and I give it to them for free. And after they go through the group class, then they do a bunch of privates with us. And then they join our Wednesday night class. It's an hour and a half every Wednesday. And we break the class up for new people and people who've been there for a while who are looking to graduate. So it's about a 15 to 18 month program.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And that's because they're working with their own dog. When I used to do it, I used to take 3 dogs at a time and train them. but the dog's bonded with me.
Mm-hmm.
So then when the person's trying to work with the dog and they're not listening and I say something and the dog does it, I'm like, oh, that's just, it just makes them feel like, okay, the dog loves you, it doesn't love me. And I can't have that.
Right.
So we decided that the person would take the dog home and they get all the help and assistance that they need. If they're having trouble, they just come in and we get them in and we do sessions. So it's
training the person too.
Always. It's not just to, actually, it's, you have to train the handler to work the dog.
Right.
Always. Always. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge. So many of it is just the education of the actual person, because people, seems like they treat their animal like a person, and they're an animal. So we have to figure out how to, and I think that's why a lot of the times, like rescues with dogs, they give up too easily.
They do. And the other problem with rescues is they baby them too much because they feel they've had a hard life before, but they don't want to be babied all the time. They need structure as much as that love. So it's got to be equal to be balanced.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to do. But you saying that makes me giggle because the dog that I got from Caroline, Tallulah, she wears little dresses.
She's, is she the French?
She's a French bulldog and a Boston Terrier mix.
Yes,
and
I remember
she's my
her.
first little girl, and she's spoiled in a sense that she wears all these cute things, but she still has to listen to me.
Right.
There's no if and like if other people are calling her and telling her to do something, she looks at them like this. But if I say something, she's like, "Okay, what do I got to do?" So there still has to be structure in everything you do.
So Old Glory Service Dogs, is there just name the phone number and the website if somebody wants to.
So the website is info@oldgloryservicedogs.org. No, that's the website. No,
the email?
That's the email address.
Okay.
And it's oldgloryservicedogs.com
or .org?
It is .org. Yeah,
okay,
.org.
.org. Okay.
386-878-2244.
Okay.
We're located in Bunnell. It's in the same building as my building.
Yeah.
The Pet Peeves. And I want people to know that if you live within an hour of us, we want you to fill out an application. It's free. We will help you with dog food if you need it. We don't want this to be a burden to them. And every one of us volunteers. We're one of the only ones out there, besides maybe one or two, that do not get paid for what we do. Our time is given to them because we want to give back. We don't want to get money from it. We want to make sure all that money goes to them because they deserve it. And it's expensive to have a dog, even just one.
Right.
So twice a year, we send the dogs to go to East Coast Animal Hospital, and they give us a good discount. But all our veterans go there, and they give them flea and tick and heartworm.
Oh, wow.
For a year, and we pay for all that. If they have to get x-rays or something, we pay for it. And we do that twice a year for them to take some of the burden off of, payments and stuff like that. If they run out of dog food, you let us know. We'll go pick you up the bag of dog food that you need.
Wow.
We had done a drive once, but it was a bust because they all have different dog food.
Yeah,
and you don't want to mix it because then it upsets their belly.
Right. Yeah.
So we donated it to the Flagler Humane Society.
Right.
So dogs still got it, but when people say I'd like to do a dog drive, it's really difficult to do that unless you're going to pick.
It's almost like gift cards probably would be better, right?
Absolutely.
Like to that Chewy or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we can pick the brand that they use. Yes,
okay.
Actually, that would be best. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Pet Peeves. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
So Pet Peeves dog training is just basic obedience. We do group classes, private classes. I do behavior modification, aggression, separation anxiety. We do a therapy program, which is 6 months, and we can handle almost anything. There's only been maybe 1 or 2 dogs that were above and beyond my aggression threshold that I couldn't handle, but there's 3 trainers. We do go to in-homes. If you are located in Palm Coast, we have a trainer that will go in-home and do that. But mostly it's done, if it's aggression, it has to be done in the building because I have to do the aggression. Other than that, we've been around since 2016 here, but I've been a trainer since 2010.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is there Pet Peeves like dogtraining.com or .org?
It's .net.
.net.
PetPeevesDogtraining.net. Yeah.
Okay. And so you have like the puppy classes and
Adult classes,
Okay.
private classes,
Okay.
like I said, behavior modification, aggression, all that kind of stuff.
And how long do those classes usually last?
So some of them are, the group classes, 4 weeks. It's twice a week, Mondays
Okay.
and Thursdays. So it's 8 classes. We usually have 2 trainers on the floor. But other than that, if it's not just a private normal class, it can be 8 trainings and up, because you can't get rid of a lot of things right away. And you got to start from scratch. You have to make sure all the obedience is done prior to any other training. You got to start from your ABCs. You can't just go to Q. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So, and we've done a lot of it. So very proud of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something else about Old Glory Service Dogs for Veterans. We're joining an association for service dogs, and we are going to be becoming, hopefully by the end of the year, accredited. And that means that some of the veterans, they can go to the VA and get coverage for certain things through the VA, because we'll be accredited with this organization.
Wow. Okay.
And we have been working on this for the last 3 years really hard. So this was the last time we went recently in July, and we were accepted. So they're starting all the proceeds and everything for us to get our
That's great.
our accreditation. So that's a big, big thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations
important.
on
Thank
that. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Thank you.
One thing to tell pet owners.
Have patience with your dogs. They don't speak English. They don't speak Spanish. They don't speak Italian. They don't speak our language. So have patience with your dog, and you have to do it over and over again. It's not one and done. The only thing that's one and done is your commands. Don't be sitting there going, sit, 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 sit.
Right.
It's sit, and that's it.
And let them figure out what it is that they need to do.
Stop repeating yourselves. Yeah. Other than that, just have patience with your dog, and be persistent, and keep doing the same things over and over again, and your dogs will be wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.